Hey guys, this is Victor, the Wise Traditions Nutritionist, and today I want to speak to you about the power of MSM. And I'm sure you guys have seen MSM. Some of you maybe have not, but it's like everywhere. And MSM, methyl sulfonyl methane, no one ever says that, they just say MSM. So anyway, let me jump into this. The first key point, simply speaking, it just provides sulfur for your body. And you really need sulfur. You're made of sulfur. If you think you have like an allergy to sulfur or something, that's just not true. You might be allergic to, or not allergic, but you might have issues with some sulfur compounds. And actually, MSM is a way around that. So here you can see, I'm just showing you the sulfur molecule actually. It's a very simple molecule. It forms in nature. Actually, it's created with the rain and it's on like everything. And it's one sulfur molecule in the middle and a couple of oxygen molecules and some carbon and a bunch of hydrogen. And this is just it's a really simple thing and it's very important for us. We normally would get it from eating a natural diet, but it's very easily destroyed. It's kind of delicate. And so we can supplement with it. And that's what I'm really talking about when I talk about MSM. I talk about getting MSM supplements. And this is where you'll usually see it as a joint supplement. So it's mostly known by athletes. You know, a lot of times it's sold with like glucosamine or chondroitin. You might see it in something like this. And it's really excellent, yeah, for joints, for arthritis, for healing, etc. And again, a lot of people know about it in these circles, but it has a lot of much broader applications for health and wellness. And it's something that we would normally be getting, and we are not because of the way we process our food. So anyway, moving along, this is a little bit long video, so I'm going to try to make it a little bit shorter. Um, anyway, you may have heard it's good for your skin, your hair, your nails. So some women may have heard that. Um, and it's good for just about all the tissues in your body. It's very bioavailable, bioactive. It's 100% safe. It's natural. It's effective. And there are a very, very small percentage of people. You may have heard of the MTHFR mutation with methylation. If you have a couple of very specific SNPs, you may have issues with this, and you'll see that when you take it. It's not life-threatening or anything. It just won't work so well for you. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later on. But anyway, basically, it's totally safe. Everyone takes it. As I mentioned, you can just buy it over the counter just about anywhere. All right, so moving along, it does all of those things and so much more. And it's used almost everywhere in your body. So all the different tissues in your body. And you can actually consume up to like 3 tablespoons a day of the MSM. And I'm going to be talking about dosage also as we go through this. And I just broke this down for you so you can understand what this amount means, especially when you're looking at like supplements. You'll hear, there's a lot of different protocols out there. And you'll hear about mixing a teaspoon of it with water and drinking that, or even mixing it with some kind of vitamin C source like a camu camu powder or acerola, or even just lemon juice. And there are many other things you can mix it with to take it. It's a very bitter taste too, so some people don't like that. They prefer to take a capsule. Now, when you take capsules, if you actually buy MSM supplement, you will see that the typical dosage is like 3,000 milligrams, which is about 3 of the small capsules or 2 of the larger ones. And that's less than a teaspoon, so it's about half a teaspoon. And you'll see, like, I usually suggest more than that. And again, there are protocols where you build up to a lot more than that. So here's just a breakdown for you to understand the numbers when you're talking about supplementing. All right, so moving forward, why do I talk about MSM, right? So we mentioned, it's a great joint supplement. It's good for your skin, your hair, your nails. It's also important for producing hormones, enzymes, and so many other things. Antibodies for your immune system. So it strengthens your immune system. It promotes healing throughout the body because it's also used to make the cartilage, the binding tissues, right? The collagen, you need sulfur to do that. So many different proteins in your body that are using that. So there's a lot of different things going on with the MSM, specifically with the sulfur that it's providing, because it's a bioavailable sulfur. Now, another thing that kind of a hot issue for a lot of people in recent years is glutathione and glutathione supplementation, which I'm not really a huge fan of, but it is considered like the master antioxidant. However, it is not well absorbed. So if you're taking glutathione as a supplement, a lot of it's going to waste. It is actually better to let your body create it. So give your body what it needs to produce the glutathione. And, so for example, soup, bone broth, meat broths, they're great because they provide these key amino acids that you need to create the glutathione. And again, MSM is providing the sulfur that is used to make this. So you increase the MSM and you actually increase glutathione production, which is really good because the sulfur is, as far as we know, the sulfur is the limiting factor for producing the glutathione. That's glutathione, actually. All right, so moving on, another amazing thing, and now we're actually going to get more into metabolic issues here. So MSM is not just a core building block, right? It's providing these very important elements as building blocks, but it's also affecting many things in your metabolism. And it increases cell permeability. So it means the cells in your body, the MSM can penetrate the membranes, the cell membranes, without using any energy, without using the transport proteins at all. So it uses less energy and it can actually carry things into the cells. So it's saving energy. It gives you more energy because you don't have to use that energy for absorption. And it also works in the other way to expel stuff. So it can go both ways through the cell membrane without using the protein transports or the metabolic things that are involved in actually cell absorption and detoxification. So it's an exceptional, we look at it as an exceptional carrier, similar to the DMSO, and I'm not sure, some of you may be familiar with DMSO, and this is a very potent carrier, which I'm very cautious with. There are very strict situations where I might recommend it, but generally speaking, I do not because it's much more volatile, but it's very potent. And MSM is actually a derivative of DMSO, but it's much more stable for us. There are no issues with it, and it has many additional benefits. All right, so, so I mentioned already, it improves the absorption and detox, right? So the MSM makes it easier for cells to absorb and to get rid of things. And this is a key point, as you'll see in other metabolic processes. So the big one here is methylation. So you may or may not know about methylation, but it's responsible for so many fundamental core functions of your living. Okay, so methylation is happening all the time. So your efficiency in methylation really contributes to your health. And here the MSM can actually donate to methyl groups to assist in methylation. So it's really good for that. Because you need that every time a cell divides, every time you're creating new DNA strands, etc. You're going to need to perform methylation, and you're going to need all these different metabolites, and MSM is providing some key components. And again, I mentioned here earlier in the beginning about these some of these rare gene mutations or DNA mutations that people have, which are not a big deal. But the MTHFR gene has become really kind of popular and trendy. And really, this is just a vitamin D deficiency. If you have a problem, if someone's telling you, oh, wow, you have this bad gene. No, it just means you really need to make sure you got your B vitamins, and then you'll have no issues. All right, so anyway, methylation, a key point. And there are many other metabolic processes that MSM supports. I'm just trying to hit on the highlights here to stress how important and powerful it is. All right, so many fundamental functions. So next, we're going to move to histamine reactions. A lot of people have trouble with histamine reactions, and MSM will help about 80% of people to reduce or eliminate histamine reactions. And there are many different reasons why you might be having trouble with histamines. And maybe it's from pollen, it's from chemicals, it's from foods you eat. There are many different root causes of why you're having histamine issues, and MSM helps to alleviate all of them, not because it suppresses histamine, but because of the things I've already mentioned, because it helps with methylation, because it helps with reducing the energy needed for the cell transport, for the cell absorption and detox. So now your body is able to get the histamine out of the cells much more readily, much more easily, much quicker. And then in addition to that, MSM is an anti-inflammatory for many other reasons, again, connected to these other metabolic processes that it supports. And so all these things together help MSM to have a really big impact on histamine issues. Not for everybody, not always immediately. In fact, we see that people will actually improve. The MSM will have an increasing impact on histamine issues over a course of about 2 weeks. And this is a really exciting thing in the world of histamine issues, because a lot of people are having them. It's getting worse, right? Because of all the pollutants. We have too many things coming in, right? And like we talk about detox and the need for detox assistance because our body is being overwhelmed. And so MSM is helping with the detox and helping to manage the excess inflammation. And so, again, the mechanisms are many and they're complex, but I just want to emphasize how powerful MSM is for helping with histamine issues. Okay, and yeah, and you can drink it, you can spray it, you can swallow capsules, you can get creams or make creams to rub on your skin. It'll work topically. People often get instant results. I myself had that experience, like really immediate results with MSM. This is not considered like a trauma drug or anything like that, and it's not a drug. Remember, it's basically a natural ingredient. Okay, so moving on. I think I covered everything here. One more final thing. It is really cheap and easy. This is another great thing about MSM. Of course, you want to start slow and you build up to whatever dosages whatever your target is. If you want to get involved with one of these heavier protocols where you're trying to get up to 3 tablespoons a day or something, start slow. You start just a capsule a day, like 1,000 milligrams or whatever. And if you do any research, you'll see MSM is used in a lot of different things. I'll talk about it in many different situations, like mixing it with colloidal silver or mixing it with vitamin C sources and such. And again, if you're having issues with sulfur, if you think you're sulfur intolerant or something, MSM is not going to be an issue for you, or at least it's very unlikely that it will be, so don't worry about that. In fact, MSM, there's a good chance it's going to be a solution for you. So definitely take a look at it. Do more research, right? I'm just trying to get you pointed in the right direction. I'm trying to raise awareness and let you know that there is this very cheap, simple supplement that could really benefit you in many different ways. And so once again, I'll just let you see, there's a breakdown of like dosages and such. And you'll notice I had written here a couple times about mixing like a tablespoon of MSM with a tablespoon of a vitamin C source like an acerola powder or a camu powder. And there are other things you can mix it with too, lemon juice, etc. And again, you can also just take it straight. So that's about it. I hope this gets you started on MSM, or at least on the research of it. And I hope this gives you some more confidence and helps you to understand how it could really help you with your health, with whatever you might be suffering from, because it helps heal so many things, not just joints, not just nail, hair, skin, etc. The gut lining, it's a really, really key point. Just so many benefits from MSM. And it's one of the things that I take daily. So MSM and magnesium, my 2 favorite things. All right, thank you. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a good day, have a good weekend, all that, and I hope you subscribe. Take care.